Alrighty folks, want to welcome you back to another video from Yates Computer Tips and Reviews. Alright, this video was for a big milestone for my YouTube channel. This will be a 1-year video. I have been posting videos for about a year now. The official launch was back in October last year. I had some videos on there beforehand, but that was there to try to put some content, learn how to do it, have something there, so when I do officially launch, it's not just like one video and nothing more. I was really planning to do more for the 1 year, but don't have a whole lot of subscribers. I see I have some videos that have a lot of views, a lot of videos that have hardly no views. So I've held off on doing anything major for the 1 year. Maybe next year for the 2 year, maybe I'll give away something. Originally I was thinking about giving away some kind of a face mask with the logo on it, but pandemic stuff is up and down, and you know, I didn't want to get into is it CDC certified and all of that type of stuff, and you know, regulations and policies and stuff. So I decided, nah, I'm just going to hold off. Just want to thank everybody who's been watching, who's notified others. You know, post it, let people know. Hey, there's a lot of content out there. Content will be getting probably a little bit more in detail, a little bit more actual videos, because I'm up and growing, still learning, still trying to figure out what I want to actually show, how I want to teach, how I want to relay this information. So some of the style might be changing a little. Now I'll probably end up doing some walkthroughs. Don't really have a capture card yet in the unit. That's something I'm going to be looking at doing. But then I have to cut, edit, splice, all these other type of things into these videos where it'll take me hours upon hours to do these videos. Right now, I'm sitting down, laying out all the information so that everybody understands how this stuff works. I'm not cutting, I'm not splicing, I'm not cutting out errors. If I stutter, misinterpretate, say something wrong, whatever, I do the correction on the video. I don't cut it and edit and redo things. I like that more pure. That's the way I've been doing it. So, for the 1 year, that's what I've been doing. Hopefully this is really helpful for a lot of people. But with me, I understand there's lots of ways to learn. Not to mention there's a lot of things that you may want to see in this OS. You may have been running this Windows 10 now for 2 or 3 years or longer and don't realize all the little simple things that can be done. All the little annoying things that I brought up in my Windows 10 video about how they force this stuff on you. They force this box. They force this thing. They force this thing on your screen. They don't give you the option to say, yes, I would like that. Put that on there. No, we're just going to jam that on there and make you deal with it. As someone who does IT work, this is really annoying. You home users, I'm sure you think, oh, this is ridiculous. They put this stuff on here. Now, your ridiculousness that you think of, you have 1 or 2 computers that you have to deal with this. I have 200 or 300 I have to deal with this. So, I wanted to elaborate that. I wanted to press that because I know in the other video, this is one of my big pet peeves that designers and software developers do. So I wanted to show you my biggest pet peeve, because it really annoys me when these developers do that. Oh, we got a new mode. Oh, if you don't like it, just go back in and change it to classic. No. Leave it as classic and let us have the choice to set it as your new mode and see if we like it. Don't make us do it the opposite way around, because then we get frustrated and we get mad, and then we're doing that on 300 computers. These software developers and engineers need to realize this. This isn't a one computer thing that, oh, okay, we have to do that hundreds of times because of the developers. I hate throwing people under the bus, but this is really one that I gotta do. I'm sure there's a lot of other influencers out there and a lot of other people that are thinking the same thing, but they're probably not really gonna come out and say, stop it. I am. Because I find that annoying. Because the last thing I want to do is have all these open source and free source and all these new developers come into the field doing the same garbage that all these other developers are doing because they see them doing it. That's kind of like a lot of these videos out there. And a lot of these things that are out there that I've talked about, they don't give you the full story. They're not giving you the full story because nobody else is giving you the full story. That's why I started this channel. That's why I have a video every week for over a year. That's why this channel will continue. And I will keep making more content because other people aren't giving you the full details. They might not think it's important. They might not think it's relevant. But as a home user or someone else, these things are relevant. They are important. I hate trying to deal with software where they don't give you the relevant and important facts. That drives me absolutely crazy. So, for my next video, I'm actually going to do more of a walkthrough. I'm going to do it in this video style. I really hope a lot of people can see it. You probably won't be able to see it on a small phone or a small tablet. You'll probably have to go to a bigger screen so you can actually see everything I'm doing. But this might be something I go back and redo on a capture card or something else, and I'll try to figure out how to edit, how to do things probably later on. But right now, for a home user that doesn't know how to do these little simple things, or it might even be a business, a small business or someone else that has an IT guy that comes in and sets these systems up and sets your shares and sets all your link files and all these type of things. But there's other little things that these systems do that drive me crazy. Especially Windows 10. When you install your first user is not a default user that every user follows those same parameters. Goes back to my big pet peeve of Microsoft forcing stuff on you. When I go through and set up that computer as admin and I take out all this bloatware, all this spamware, all this garbage that they put in there, this is one of the things a lot of people have been talking about since Windows 10 came out, that puts all this garbage software in. There is no real way to take that out. It is so embedded into the operating system. Every user you log into that computer, you have to go in and do that same settings per user on that computer. And again, thanks a lot, developers. I have 300 computers with multiple users. So if I got 4 users on a computer and I got 300 computers, thank you for 1,200 profiles that now I have to go in there and edit. I want the home users and other small business developers and other people to realize where my pet peeve is. Now I'm giving you actual numbers. These are big numbers. Not to mention, I have to have access to that user's account. I can't log in as an administrator and say, okay, don't run this. No. The developers figured out a way to make it more difficult, to make you use their stuff. Why? As you could tell, did that really help you? Or did that aggravate me? And everybody else I work with, and everybody else in the field. And then you're coming out with Windows 11. More garbage. Welcome to Windows 8.1 again. I thought you guys learned from that mistake. Obviously not. So, I really wanted to hammer down on that pet peeve. I know this is my 1 year video, and I want to thank everybody who's out there, who's subscribed, who hit the bell, who's following. Hopefully you're relaying this to your friends and information out there, letting people know where they could get this information. There's a lot of information on my channel. A lot of security stuff. And this is basic security stuff. This is something every user really should know. Especially home users. The world has changed. I started in computers when I was really young. Things have changed from the old Apple IIe. Put the floppy disk in, power it up to boot up. There was no hard drive. It was floppy. You started that with the floppy. Not the little floppy, the big floppy. Not a compact disc, not a CD. We're going way, way back, people. Back to, again, if you don't know where the technology came from, you don't know what's next. Everybody's talking about, USBs, CD-ROMs, DVDs, Blu-rays. Guess what? That all eventually came from your floppy disk. These are all the developments up into the future here that got you to where you're at. So, these are important factors that I wanted to bring up. So, wanted to thank everybody again for 1 year. I made it 1 year. Let's see how the world goes. Let's see how things go. See how many more changes there are out there in the next year. Because I know already from the pandemic and all the craziness that went on, there's been a lot of changes. A lot of changes. A lot of issues have come up. A lot. Just heard another thing on the news again. By the time you see this, it'll be old news. But here's the thing. Is it old news or is it going to be still going on? I can guarantee it's still going to be going on because this stuff's been going on for 20 years. It's just people haven't realized it. It hasn't hit the news. It hasn't been a big deal. Because the news is promoting what they want to promote. I'm going to tell you, all the years I've dealt with the news and all the stuff that I've dealt with them and when I worked at the grocery industry and the strike and lockout and all of that, they tell what they want to tell, just like a lot of these other content creators. They don't give you the full story. So, I'm finding it hard to get the full story on anything. So, that's why it's pushed me to make this channel. I held off for years. I kept thinking about it, until I'm like, you know what? nobody's telling you the true facts. So I hope people understand why I go on so long, why I go into so many things, why I go off over here when I'm talking about content over here. Because this is actually tied into this, that's actually tied into this, that's actually tied into this, that's tied into that, that's tied into that, that goes back to that, that could actually go to here, to here, to... I mean... goes back to the other saying I keep saying. That the computer stuff is somewhat easy. But it also is hard. Because there's so many little pieces. It's like a puzzle. You have to have every little piece to get the puzzle. How hard's a puzzle? It takes you some time. Depending on how many pieces and how complex of a puzzle you buy, it takes you more time. Of course, if you're a home user, you have your router, you know, your Wi-Fi network, you know, a computer, a laptop, your phone, you got a small puzzle. You know, 20, 30 piece puzzle. Not too bad. Now, you did realize I said 20 to 30 piece puzzle. I only mentioned like 5 or 6 pieces. But you have your wiring, you have your security, you have your firewall, you have your virus scan, you have your malware detection, you have your OS, you have your updates, you have all these other little things. Your Wi-Fi security, your login usernames, your login passwords, your security, all these other things that come in to that network. Now, you get into a business environment. You have one building on a domain with logins for all the different users. Of course, you have your local accounts too. You have your administrative accounts. You have your security. You have your firewalls. You have your switches. You have your servers. These are all things that I brought up in all these other videos. These are relevant. The big one that came out a little while ago was, oops, my USB hard drive got deleted. Or networked hard drive got deleted. Oops. There's videos talking about the security and making sure you have firewall protections and everything else. So, these are real life events that have taken place. These are things that have been taught for a long time, that all of a sudden it's, we'll show you how to build a video gaming computer and put a video card in that you can't possibly find out in the stores. Okay, how is that relevant? So that's why I'm doing these videos. Of course, I'm going on way too long again for my 1-year video. But here I'm trying to sum all this up. I'm trying to sum up the year for you. Next year's videos be a little bit more hands-on. I have a system right here. There's videos on this system. I've talked about this system in some of my other videos. I'll be doing more probably on it. Got another system there for upgrades and doing other little things and doing other things with it. Hard drives, new hard drive styles, old mechanical, new SSD, new M.2s, 2 different speeds currently right now for M.2s. And the big one I'm waiting to hear a lot more on is the whole reason why Windows 11's coming out is for the gamers. The new, I'm going to say, architectural change of a motherboard. Because now they're going to have it so that the hard drive itself can talk directly to the video card without going through the CPU. This is a groundbreaking thing, in my opinion. This is something that you may want to watch for in the future. This is as big of a breakthrough as USB. Because originally what USB was designed for was to plug stuff in, you know, to do this, to do that. Now, what do you use USB for? Almost everything. Unless you're using a FireWire or something else with a faster speed. So, this developmental step could open the door for a lot more things. So, it'll be interesting to see. Or, it might go away completely. Like some high capacity floppy drives that came out. That really, some businesses and some places needed that capacity, but once you got Blu-ray and DVD that came out, those went away pretty quick. So, it might be a stepping stone to more technology. Might be a whole another leap in technology from that. So I wanted to elaborate that. Because we're here at the 1 year mark. Windows 11 will be coming out sort of towards the end of the year. And I haven't seen too much on motherboard designs and a lot of other things that have come across my eyes on future. I'm sure these things are already being done. I'm sure if the operating system is capable of it, a lot of these new motherboards are probably getting this stuff integrated. It's just that until we get the operating system and we get other drivers and software that can fully support it, then we could actually elaborate more on it, is what I think the hold-off is. So, wanted to touch base on that. Again, thanks everybody for sticking in with me. I know my videos can go on and on, but I hope it's relevant to you. I hope you're understanding it. If not, leave your comments. But, again, for my 1 year, I'm going to end up probably doing a Facebook Live. I'm going to try. So you'll probably see that out on the Facebook account. Haven't quite figured out what kind of content I will do for that yet. But keep an eye out. Because the 1 year's over, I want to try to move on to more in-depth technology training, some more hands-on so you can actually see the things on the screen. Because originally I just wanted to relay the information. Because there might be people out there that don't comprehend it very well or don't understand it the way I taught it that way. I understand there's a lot of people that learn a lot of different ways. And again, if you're trying to learn the basics and you're trying to learn how to do something, or you're stuck on something, it's easier for someone just to tell you, hey, this is what you do. You go through here and you do this and that. And you go, oh, okay, I see the step I'm missing. I hear it. But, you know, that's a good training way. That's a good way that they used to teach you in classes. Nowadays, Everybody's got computers in front of them. So that's the old way. That's the old way I used to be taught. You'd pick up a book, you'd read a book on it. There might be illustrations, there might be photos, and there might not. But that's the way that it was taught. So I wanted to go kind of the old school way. The old legacy way. The way that doesn't exist anymore. You know, this is what I want to teach. I want people to understand, again, you don't know where you started from, you don't know where you're at, you don't know where you can be. These are important to me for people to understand these facts. Because, again, you don't know where the technology is going to go. So, that's why I'm doing these. That's why I did those ones that way. Hopefully this will be more helpful for a lot of other people, because categories I covered, we're showing you switches, we're showing you routers, we're showing you wiring, we're talking about physical locations. It's a little hard to do unless I take that, pause it, go to some business somewhere, and actually show you, hey, look where this is at, that's completely wrong. And then go somewhere else and say, hey, this is how it should look. It would take me months to do this kind of a video with something you can actually physically see the placements of. Can't really just go online and pull other people's videos and pull other people's photos. That's kind of illegal. So, don't want to do that. So, there's a lot of videos already pre-done. Please go back and watch them, because they are important. I know a lot of people like this kind of content. They like capture cards where you can actually see just the computer, what the computer's doing, and you can hear someone talking. I might end up doing a few of those. I've already got a mic, got a camera, I've got a lot of other things that I can try to do. I've seen some people where they have their capture card and they have their camera, they have a side screen where you can see the person talking, plus you can see what's going on the computer. So I might be experimenting with that in the next year. But again, I really need your feedbacks to know if you like that certain style or don't like that certain style. What are you looking for? These are important, because I don't want to make videos like this and then you really can't see what's going on, or you don't understand it, or, you know, because you really want the capture to see exactly what's going on the screen, and you don't want to see me and you don't want to see anything else around. Little things like that. Need the feedback so I can make the good content that would help you out the most. So my content might be changing a little, how I'm doing it, what's going on, but the 1 year's over. Gonna go for the second year, do some walkthroughs, go through some, showing you some stuff on the OS. Unfortunately, by the time you see this, the OS that you have might be obsolete for you. Depending on how Microsoft goes on their CPU regulations and who they allow to upgrade, you might be forced with Windows 10 until end of life, and then you have to buy a new computer. So you have 3 more years of this. So there might be a lot of things on here that I could show you that will speed up your computer, that will turn off a lot of these pre-loaded stuff, pre-installed stuff, that will help you out for at least those 3 years. Maybe if there's enough complaints about Windows 11, they might add life to Windows 10, and it might last you longer. Because it's not right that if you have an older CPU or an older computer that you can't upgrade. Back to my pet peeve. But there's certain reasons why. But this is the time I decided to do this video. Because I wasn't ready to move to the new platform of showing a lot of things. I had a lot of content I still needed to cover. And I wanted to cover it in the same style before I changed styles. Now, you'll see I have content on the OS's 7, 8, 8.1, 10, 11 already online, or coming online, or be available soon. So now it leads me into the actual OS, because before that was your setup, your hardware, you know, some software I mentioned, your logins, your admin accounts, all of these things before you get to this physical point. Your installation, your upgrade, I've talked about a little bit, but I was planning to do a video on that. I don't know if that's going to be the live or I'm going to do something different. It may be something different. It may be a combination of a bunch of things. So, again, I want to thank everybody for sticking with me for a year. Come on, get more people involved, get more people on this channel. The more feedback, the more responses, and the more stuff I get, the better I can make these videos for everybody. Alrighty, I want to thank everybody again. Thank you.